Furthermore, the nation is being informed that the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is holding integrated service fairs in all the country's 72 districts. The campaign is a whole-of-government initiative on mobilizing communities to send learners back to school on the opening day. The fairs also intend to mobilize educational goods and services, thereby ensuring that the learners have adequate resources to make up for the lost time due to COVID-19 outbreak. Following representations from the various sectors of the economy, Cabinet resolved and wishes to inform the nation as follows. A, considering that 98% of the COVID-19 cases in Zimbabwe are of the Delta variant, there is no longer need to quarantine travelers from countries afflicted with the Delta variant, such as India. B, that cinemas and theaters can now allow 50% seating capacity of vaccinated clients, and that all workers who work there should be vaccinated. C, that national arts galleries across the country be opened to vaccinated clients only, and once again, all the workers who work there should be vaccinated. Then D, that the resumption of sporting activities subject to strict observance of COVID-19 prevention measures and protocols should actually be done. Attendant staff should also be vaccinated. E, that for all local activities in which the participants are below the age of 14, that is in sports, they shall in all cases be checked for COVID-19 symptoms, have regular temperature checks, and follow all the social distancing protocols. Athletes or children aged 14 to 18 years are highly recommended to get vaccinated, and the National Sports Association can work with Sport and Recreation Commission to get this done. Then G, that gymnasia, health spas, and fitness centers be allowed to open only to vaccinated clientele. And finally H, that all sports clubs must ensure that their coaches, managers, and any support staff are vaccinated. Then I move on to the progress report on the procurement and rollout of COVID-19 vaccines. Cabinet received an update on the procurement and rollout of COVID-19 vaccines as presented by the Vice President and Minister of Health and Childcare, Honorable CGD Chiwenga. Cabinet is informing the nation that as of 30 August 2021, a total of 2,552,573 persons had received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, while 1,619,463 persons had received the second dose. This translates to a national coverage of 29.7% and 18.9% for the first and second dose, respectively. Vaccination in border towns, other hotspots, and people's markets is progressing as scheduled. The initial 15,000 doses of the donated 30,000 Sputnik V vaccine by the Serbian government are expected tomorrow, 1st September 2021. Cabinet wishes to inform the nation that owing to the tremendous support and acceptance of the vaccination program by the churches, government has launched Operation Marah, where the churches can now call on government vaccination teams to vaccinate members against COVID-19. The launch of Operation Marah will drive and accelerate the vaccination program towards attainment of a herd immunity. Government wishes to categorically state that the vaccination program is a free service to the nation, and as such, all private health institutions should not charge those wishing to access the services. Government also donated an assortment of locally manufactured personal protective equipment, that's the PPE, and medicines, in addition to the donation of 20,000 doses of Sinopharm to the government of the Republic of Namibia. Then Cabinet received a report on the visits to selected 100-day cycle and provincial flagship projects. Cabinet received and noted the monitoring visit report on the selected 100-day cycle and provincial flagship projects in Masvingo Province, Bulawayo, Matabeleland North and Midlands provinces, which was presented by the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and Monitoring and Implementation of Government Programs, Honorable Joram Gumbo. The purpose of the visit was to appreciate progress as well as the challenges that affect the project implementation. Construction of a female hostel at Roger Hauman Training Center in Masvingo Urban. The center has trained a total of 1,795 trainees, with 119 having been trained in 2021. The modern spacious female hostel will have a capacity to accommodate 38 trainees, and materials are on site for the completion of that hostel. Then the Amarula processing plant in Mwenezi, that's in Masvingo Province once again. This project is meant to value add and commercialize the indigenous African Mapfura fruit through the production of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, also edible fruits and oil for cosmetics. And it will create employment for 150 locals. Then C, construction of Tuli Manyange Dam, Galanyemba communal area in Gwanda, that's in Matabeleland South Province. The 2.2 billion Zimbabwe dollar project will see over 15,000 hectares of land being put under irrigation. It has created jobs for 140 locals, and communities will benefit through irrigation for nutritional gardens, fisheries, and livestock watering. Then D, Old Bulawayo Monument, Kobulawayo, that's in Matabeleland South Province. Kobulawayo is being redeveloped to preserve heritage and indigenous cultural systems, having been gutted by fire in 2010. Then E, Garia Dam, that's in Matabeleland North Province. The dam was constructed in 1953, mainly for water conservation purposes, to supply water for human use as well as domestic and wild animals. The dam wall breached in 2017 and now is being reconstructed. Then F, Anju Prison Farm in Matabeleland North Province. Once again, the prison farm produces a variety of crops as well as livestock for inmates' consumption and for sale. Then the Gwai Shangani Dam in Matabeleland North Province. When completed, this dam will be the third largest inland dam in the country. It will supply potable water to Bulawayo Metropolitan Province as well as to Wange and Pinga communities. As we speak, the project is about 40% completion. H, Ungi Mine de-bottlenecking, and this is in Midlands Province. The project benefits are as follows: increased employment and enhanced foreign currency generation. Then I, Budiriro Primary Satellite School upgrading. Once again, this is in Midlands Province. Budiriro Primary Satellite School has been transformed into a modern school from a pole and dagger structures, and the construction of the school considerably reduced distances being traveled by school children. Then J, Gunguwe Bridge construction, again in Midlands Province. The corrugated steel plate bridge links Gokwe North and Gokwe South districts. The completion of the bridge will provide a useful link that will be used by farmers, students, and other travelers. I move on to the update on the preparations for Zimbabwe's participation at Expo 2020 Dubai. Cabinet considered an update on Zimbabwe's participation at Expo 2020 Dubai, which is from 1 October 2021 to 31st March 2022. And this report was presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Dr. F.M. Shaw. On the progress on the preparations, the nation is advised that mobilization of the private sector is continuing, with business entities being encouraged to propose events that can be included in the thematic calendar of events. Participants are expected to come up with events that explore solutions to fundamental global issues, guided by the 10 theme weeks and 18 international days. On tourism, the Ministry of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry has mobilized 21 tourism operators to participate at the Expo 2020 Dubai. A number of tourism videos from the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority and Ngamo Safaris are among other tourism operators, and they will be shown during the Expo. Under industry, trade and investment, the ministry is mobilizing and engaging with private sector, and this is continuing with a number of companies having already contributed towards the Zimbabwe Pavilion retail store. And these are some of the companies who have already registered: Tanganda Tea Company, Patrick Mavros, Adam Bede, Kane's Food, Mr. Sauce and Copperware, whilst Schweppes and National Foods pledged to contribute perishable products. Zimtrade is working with ZIDA, that's the Zimbabwe Investment Development Agency, ZNCC, Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, and CZI, Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, in coming up with information on trade and investment opportunities in Zimbabwe, coming up also with project proposals from companies which will be displayed in the Zimbabwe Pavilion. Under mining, the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development is mobilizing the private sector in the mining industry to participate at that Expo 2020 Dubai. On content production, Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services has mobilized media houses to help with communication strategy. To date, 13 out of the 30 media houses, including ZBC, ZTN, and Zim Papers, were engaged through a competitive tender process. The communication products to be produced by the companies include information and communication material, audio videos, jingles for pre, during, and post-duration of the Expo in order to profile the opportunities found in the country. On the pavilion construction, the Zimbabwe pavilion construction is 100% complete. The remaining scope of work currently underway includes finalization of the digital equipment, zone labeling, installation of the Zimbabwe theme and the country name, installation of the Zimbabwe model map, and virtual reality sets. Then I move on to the development of Melfort Smart City. Cabinet considered and approved proposals for the development of Melfort Smart City, and this was presented by Honorable Professor Mavima as Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on Social Services and Poverty Eradication. Cabinet wishes to inform the nation that the Ministry of National Housing and Social Amenities, in collaboration with a consortia of pension and provident funds, banking institutions, and other developers, funded by the Zimbabwe Electricity Industry Pension Fund and the ZESA Pension Fund, is collaborating the development of Melfort Smart City. Melfort is strategically located midway between Harare and Marondera and has potential to become a major economic hub. It is endowed with excellent weather conditions, abundant water sources, thriving agricultural activities, a railway line, and an elaborate road network. Melfort has a direct link with the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, and the link road will reduce the distances to the airport for the exporters and other vehicular traffic from the east. There are substantial downstream spin-off benefits accruing from the envisaged development, and going forward, the smart city also aims at decongesting Harare, and the concept will be replicated throughout the country. The development can be replicated to other areas such as Fig Tree in Bulawayo, Chirundu border post, that's in Mashonaland West Province, Given that Melfort Smart City is a private sector driven development project, the Ministry of National Housing and Social Amenities will engage potential investors on the funding models to ensure that the concept quickly materializes. The engagement with potential investors will pave way for the spatial planning of the smart city. There will be an industrial park and office park to support the spatial efficiency in development, promote import substitution, develop sustainability and value addition on agricultural produce. Then Cabinet received a report on the Private Voluntary Organizations Amendment Bill 2021. Cabinet received and approved the proposed amendments to the Private Voluntary Organization Act, PVO Act, Chapter 17.05, as presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambe Ziambi. The amendments seek to combat money laundering and financing of terrorism by any individual or institution in Zimbabwe operating under the PVO banner. The amendments also seek to streamline the administrative procedures for PVOs in order to ensure their efficient registration, regulation, and the combating of the financing of terrorism. The Registrar of PVOs is also being accorded powers to penalize non-compliant organizations. The PVO Amendment Bill was necessitated by the growing regional and global concerns about money laundering and the financing of terrorist activities. It is now known that terrorist activities can be committed using seemingly authentic transactions, either as humanitarian aid or development assistance. Since the current PVO Act was silent in this regard, the bill seeks to close the loophole and ensure that all PVO activities are transparent and are conducted in the national interest. As a member of the International Financial Action Task Force, Zimbabwe is obligated to ensure compliance by all PVOs operating in the country without exception. Whereas registration has all along been free, the registrar is now empowered to collect registration fees from all PVOs. The bill prohibits PVOs from political involvement and requires them to discharge their mandate for the benefit of the society's most vulnerable. PVOs are therefore prohibited from undertaking political lobbying on behalf of any individual, organization, or political party, and the bill stipulates penalties for those PVOs that violate the Act. The registrar can also impose civil penalty orders on PVOs which breaks the law, with high-risk PVOs being placed under monitoring. The executive committee of the PVOs can be suspended for either maladministration or failure to discharge the declared mandate. Cabinet also received a report on the Zimbabwe National Climate Outlook Forum. Cabinet was updated on the Zimbabwe National Climate Outlook Forum by Honorable OCZ Mchingurikashiri as the Acting Minister of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry. The nation is informed that the Meteorological Services Department of Zimbabwe will be holding a National Climate Outlook Forum, NACOF, on 1st September, which is starting tomorrow. The forum provides a platform for the sharing of information on forecast outlook for the upcoming rainfall season to multi-stakeholders. The seasonal rainfall outlook is also a useful planning tool. The National Outlook Forum is being convened after the Southern African Regional Climate Outlook Forum, SACOF, which provides consensus on the seasonal rainfall outlook to the regional stakeholders. The SACOF statement covers large areas and hence the need for the National Climate Outlook Forum for a more detailed forecast and outlook. The country is divided into 3 regions, and the initial rainfall outlook for the 3 for the period October to March 22 is normal to above normal. Detailed information will be provided by the Meteorological Service Department of Zimbabwe from time to time. Cabinet was briefed on the commissioning of the dairy plant. This was the dairy and beef production projects by the private sector. Cabinet was briefed on this commissioning of the dairy and beef production project by Zimplats, and the presentation was done by the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Fisheries and Rural Settlement, Honorable Dr. Anxious Masuka. His Excellency, the President, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa, commissioned a dairy and beef project being implemented by Zimplats in Mondorongezi on the 26th of August 2021. Zimplats is in the process of introducing a special breed of Japanese cattle, the Wagyu. The initiative dovetails with government's ongoing efforts to increase the country's beef and dairy output. Up to 25 million liters of milk will be produced from this private sector-led initiative, which is also gearing towards specialization in the export of beef to the Asian market. It is expected that some 650 metric tons of beef will be exported annually. The special beef fetches between US $300 and $400 per kilogram. Zimplats will engage the local communities in pasture development as well as help improve cattle breeds in the community through artificial insemination program. Then Cabinet received an update on the tour of cantonment areas. Cabinet received and approved a report by the Interministerial Committee which visited Zimbabwe Defense Forces cantonment areas, and this report was presented by the Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities, Honorable Daniel Garwe. Cabinet approved the following: A, construction of permanent physical infrastructure at William Dagana Barracks in Chipinge, given that the battalion is responsible for the security of the Zimbabwe-Mozambique border area, and Maganyana Barracks in Plumtree. B, construction of the following structures at Gimboki, Manyame Air Base, and other cantonment areas: residential flats, garrison shops and shopping malls, office accommodation, and also robust armory. C, a nationwide physical infrastructure maintenance and refurbishment system beginning with Gimboki Barracks in Mutare will be done. Then the drilling of more boreholes at Gimboki and other cantonment areas which are facing acute water supply challenges. Then there is need for an immediate implementation of new construction technology in housing delivery at Zarasekwa and other cantonment areas, which delivers affordable and sustainable housing at half the cost. F, the installation of medical equipment for Manyame Referral Hospital, and that the facilities is replicated throughout the country. Then G, funding for the construction of new cantonment facilities and program maintenance in all cantonment areas, starting with those I've just mentioned: William Dangana, Gimboki Barracks, and Manyame Barracks, Manyame Air Base. H, funding for the construction of 1,500 housing units at Zarasekwa Barracks and construction of infrastructure services such as roads, aircraft parking bays, sewage, and water reticulation system in those cantonment areas. I thank you for listening. That brings us to the end of the brief today.
Thank you very much.